so you want to buy a gas station. And honestly, I get it. Every single day, hundreds of cars pull in, people swipe their cards, and money keeps flowing in rain or shine, Monday or Sunday, holiday or not. It feels like a cash machine that never sleeps. But here is the truth nobody tells you before you sign that lease or write that check. Most gas station owners are not getting rich from selling fuel. In fact, some of them are barely breaking even. One owner in Texas revealed that after paying his supplier, his staff, his utilities, and his rent, he was taking home less than $2,000 a month from a station doing over $50,000 in monthly sales. $50,000 in, $2,000 out. That should stop you right there. So before you invest a single dollar into a gas station business, stay with me because this video could save you from one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. A gas station is a retail fuel business that sells petrol, diesel, and sometimes other fuel types to vehicle owners. Most also have a small convenience store attached, and many offer extra services like car washes, air pumps, or ATMs. Simple concept, but the business behind it, far more complicated than it looks. So why do so many people want to own a gas station in the first place? Because on the surface, it looks almost perfect. First, demand never stops. People will always need fuel. It doesn't matter if the economy is struggling or if it's a public holiday. Cars still need to run. Trucks still need to move. Demand is constant and predictable. Secondly, it's a high volume business. Even a small station can serve 300 to 500 customers every single day. That's a lot of transactions happening around the clock without you having to chase clients or run ads. Thirdly, is multiple income streams. You're not just selling fuel. You're selling snacks, drinks, cigarettes, phone credit, car accessories, and more. Some stations add a car wash, others add a small restaurant. The business has natural upsell opportunities built right in. Fourth, it runs without you. Once it's set up and staffed properly, a gas station can operate while you sleep. That passive income appeal is very real and very attractive. That's why people invest. But now let's talk about what it actually costs to get started. Let's break this down honestly. Opening a gas station is not cheap, and many first-time investors are completely shocked when they see the real numbers. Here's what you're looking at: land or property lease. If you're buying land outright, you could be spending anywhere from $100,000 to over $1 million, depending on your location. If you're leasing, expect to pay $2,000 to $15,000 per month just for the space, fuel storage tanks, and pumps. Underground fuel tanks are expensive to install. A basic setup with 2 to 4 tanks can cost between $80,000 and $200,000. The pumps themselves add another $30,000 to $80,000 on top of that. Construction and site setup. The canopy over the pumps, the concrete, the lighting, the drainage system, all of that can run between $100,000 and $300,000 depending on the size of the station. Convenience store setup. Shelving, refrigerators, a point of sale system, security cameras, and your opening inventory budget, at least $20,000 to $50,000 here. Licenses and permits. You'll need a fuel retail license, a business operating permit, environmental compliance certificates, fire safety approval, and more. Legal and licensing fees alone can cost $5,000 to $20,000, and that's before you sell a single liter of fuel. Initial fuel inventory. Your first fuel order to stock the tanks, that can cost $30,000 to $100,000, depending on tank size and current fuel prices. Total estimated startup cost. A modest gas station setup will cost you anywhere from $250,000 to over $500,000. A larger, branded franchise station, you could be looking at $1 to $2 million or more. This is not a business you start with small savings. You need serious capital or a serious loan. Now the question everyone wants answered: how much can you actually make? Let's be honest and show you 3 realistic scenarios. Low-end earnings. A small station in a low-traffic area selling fuel only with a basic store. After all expenses, fuel supply costs, staff wages, rent, utilities, and maintenance, the owner might take home $1,500 to $3,000 per month. That's it. And some months, even less. Average earnings. A mid-sized station in a decent location with a well-stocked convenience store and consistent foot traffic. A realistic net profit here is $5,000 to $10,000 per month, around $60,000 to $120,000 per year. This is where most successful independent owners land. High-end earnings. A high-traffic station at a major intersection or highway with a car wash, full convenience store, and possibly a fast food partnership. These stations can generate $15,000 to $30,000 per month in net profit and sometimes more. But here's the key thing to understand. The fuel itself is not where the real money is. Fuel margins are extremely thin, sometimes as low as 3 to 10 cents per liter or per gallon. The real profit comes from your convenience store, car wash, and additional services. If your store is weak, your profits will be weak no matter how many cars fill up at your pumps. Alright, this is the part of the video I want you to pay very close attention to, because this is where most investors get it completely wrong. Risk number 1, razor-thin fuel margins. Let's start with the biggest myth in this business. People look at a gas station and think thousands of liters of fuel sold every day. That must mean massive profits. Wrong. Fuel is one of the lowest margin products you can sell. In many markets, after paying your fuel supplier, your profit per liter is just a few cents. A few, that means on a 1,000 liter sale, you might clear $30 to $50 in fuel profit. Now subtract your electricity bill for running the pumps and lighting. Subtract your staff costs, subtract your rent for that day. You start to see the problem very quickly. Risk number 2, underground tank liability. This one can destroy you financially, and most new investors never see it coming. If your underground fuel tanks leak even slightly, you are legally responsible for the environmental cleanup. And environmental cleanup of contaminated soil and groundwater is not cheap. We're talking about cleanup costs that can range from $50,000 to over $1 million, depending on the severity of the leak. The worst part? Sometimes you buy a gas station and the tanks were already leaking before you arrived. If you didn't do a proper environmental assessment before purchase, that cleanup bill is now yours. This has bankrupted gas station owners who had no idea the problem even existed. Risk number 3, oil company franchise lock-in. Many gas stations operate under a branded fuel company, Shell, Total, Chevron, BP, and others. And on the surface, that brand recognition sounds like a great advantage. But read the fine print very carefully. When you sign a franchise agreement with an oil company, you are often required to buy all your fuel exclusively from them at their price, meet minimum purchase volumes every month, maintain their branding standards at your own cost, renew or lose the contract on their terms. This means you cannot shop around for cheaper fuel suppliers, you cannot switch brands if a better deal comes along, and if the oil company decides not to renew your contract, you could lose your entire operation overnight. Risk number 4, fuel price volatility. Global fuel prices can change dramatically in a very short time. If fuel prices spike suddenly, customers buy less, they drive less, they combine trips, some switch to public transport. Your volume drops, but your fixed costs like rent, staff, and utilities stay exactly the same. And if you've already ordered a large fuel inventory at a certain price and the market price drops, you're now selling at a loss just to move your stock. This kind of price volatility has forced many gas station owners to close permanently. Risk number 5, high operating costs. Running a gas station is expensive every single month, whether you're busy or slow. Let's look at what's coming out of your pocket regularly. Electricity for pumps, lighting, refrigeration, and security systems can run $2,000 to $8,000 monthly. Staff wages for attendants, cashiers, and security, another $3,000 to $10,000 per month. Fuel supply replenishment, your largest ongoing cost. Equipment maintenance, pumps break down, tanks need inspecting, the car wash needs servicing, insurance fuel businesses require heavy coverage. And it's not cheap. A slow month doesn't mean your bills take a break. They don't. Risk number 6, theft and drive-offs. This is more common than people think. Drive-offs where a customer fills their tank and drives away without paying happen at nearly every gas station. Some stations lose thousands of dollars every month to this alone. And internal theft from staff is also a serious problem in cash-heavy businesses like this one. Without proper security systems, cameras, prepay pump systems, and staff accountability processes, this can quietly drain your profits month after month. Risk number 7, regulatory and environmental compliance. Gas stations are one of the most regulated businesses you can own. You need to comply with fire safety regulations, environmental protection laws, fuel storage and handling standards, health and safety requirements for staff, local zoning and business permit rules. If an inspector visits and finds a violation, even a minor one, you can face heavy fines, forced shutdowns, or mandatory costly upgrades. And these regulations change. What was compliant last year might require expensive modifications this year. Risk number 8, location can make or break you. A gas station in a high traffic area on a busy highway? Potentially very profitable. A gas station on a quiet residential street with 3 competitors within 2 kilometers? You could struggle to survive. And here's the painful part, location is almost impossible to change once you've invested. Many investors buy a station in a decent location only to discover that a new highway bypass has redirected traffic away from their area, or a large branded competitor opens a new mega station nearby. Your entire investment is now at risk because of factors completely outside your control. Risk number 9, environmental lawsuits. Beyond tank leaks, gas stations face environmental risks from fuel spills during delivery, improper waste disposal, and chemical runoff. A single incident that contaminates local groundwater or affects neighboring properties can trigger lawsuits that cost you far more than your business is worth. Environmental litigation is slow, expensive, and extremely stressful. And in some cases, the owner is held personally liable, meaning your personal assets, not just the business, are at risk. Risk number 10, changing consumer behavior. This is the long-term risk that most people ignore completely. Electric vehicles are growing, slowly in some markets, rapidly in others. As more people switch to electric cars, the demand for petrol and diesel will gradually decline. That's not a reason to avoid the business today, but it's a very important reason to think about your exit strategy before you invest. A gas station that's highly profitable in 2026 could face a very different market by 2032 or 2035, depending on how fast EV adoption grows in your region. Okay, so the risks are real, but if you're still serious about this business, here's how the smart owners make it work. Focus on the convenience store, not the fuel. Stock your store well. Keep it clean. Offer products people actually want. The store is where your real margins live. Treat it like a proper retail business, not an afterthought. Add a car wash. A basic automated car wash can generate an extra $2,000 to $8,000 per month with relatively low ongoing costs. It keeps customers on your property longer and increases average spend per visit. Choose your location surgically. Before you invest, study the traffic patterns. Count cars at different times of day. Check for planned road developments or new competitors. The right location is worth paying more for. Negotiate your fuel supply contract carefully. If you're operating independently, always negotiate your fuel supply terms. Even a small improvement in your per liter cost can translate into thousands of dollars of extra profit every month. Introduce loyalty programs. Reward customers who return. A simple stamp card or digital loyalty system can meaningfully increase your repeat customer rate and monthly revenue. Upsell at every opportunity. Train your staff to suggest add-ons. A customer buying fuel is a customer who might also want a cold drink, a snack, a phone charger, or a car freshener. Every extra sale improves your margins. Now, I want to ask you something very specific. You've seen the startup costs, you've seen the risks, you've seen the profit potential. If you had $250,000 right now, would you put it into a gas station business, or would you choose a completely different investment? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to know what business you would choose instead. So, is a gas station business worth it in 2026? Here's my honest verdict. A gas station can be a solid and profitable business, but only under very specific conditions. You need a high traffic location. You need enough capital to survive the first 12 months without panicking. You need a strong convenience store operation. And you need to go in with your eyes completely open about the risks, especially tank liability, fuel margins, and the long-term EV shift. If this video helped you see the gas station business clearly before spending a single dollar, then this channel is exactly what you need. Every week, I break down businesses just like this one, the real costs, the real profits, and the real risks, so you can invest smart. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of Before You Invest. I'll see you in the next video.